Hi folks, I'm Heath with Two Guys That Are Riding. Welcome to our how-to video on the 2021 Lexus LS 500F Sport all-wheel drive. Today I'll be covering the infotainment screen. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Sears Imported Autos selling beautiful Mercedes-Benz in Minnetonka, Minnesota.
All right, so the infotainment screen is a 12.3-inch screen. Now, it is a touch screen. Lexus does put a touchpad down in the center console with some shortcuts, and it is the only place that this menu button appears where you can see these apps. That doesn't appear on the screen at all. All right, it does have a Mark Levinson sound system, which is an upgrade, but it's got 23 speakers, 2,400 watts of power, and a 16-channel amp, including 3D surround sound and Clarify, which basically takes anything you've connected to the system, whether it's wireless or wired, and enhances the digital signal so you have a better sound. So a very, very nice sound system. Now, it does have AM and FM radio, Sirius XM, it's got CD, it's got Apple CarPlay, it's got Android Auto, of course, Bluetooth and navigation. Okay, let's take a look at the screen itself. So, using the menu button on the trackpad here brings up these icons. So if I go, for instance, to destination, that's going to bring up my navigation. I can search, I can have a destination assistant if I want. If I've stored favorites, I can see them there. Anything recent I've plotted, I can see there. Emergency, I can see there. I can look at an address, points of interest, or contacts. All right, so if I wanted to, for instance, do just a search, and I could say, let's say, all right, and I hit search, it should pull up. Yep, there it goes. And all I have to do is just tap on it. And then I would say go.
The route guidance will start now.
Okay. So.
In 0.2 of a mile, right turn.
All right. So there the whole route is plotted. Okay. And if I click that X, I can say, are you sure I don't want to delete this? Yes. So they don't really ask you to exit the route. They just tell you to delete it. So that's how you do it. Now, on the steering wheel, on the left-hand side, there is a voice command button, and we're going to use that to try and plot a route. So here we go. It's a quick press and release.
Before you start, consider viewing the available video tutorials or voice training functionality.
Take me to Dairy Queen.
Showing results for Dairy Queen. Select the one you want. Say next page for more items.
4.
To navigate to this point of interest, say go there.
Go.
Starting guidance for a new route.
All right. And then I still need to press OK.
The route guidance will start now. In
Okay.
0.2 of a mile, right turn.
Now, I could click the X, but what I'm going to do before I do that is, you see this extra screen right here? So it's showing you a close-up of this. Okay, if I hit this arrow, it takes it back to full screen. Now, to get that screen back, if you wanted that on this side, you would click the navigation symbol on the top right, and then it brings it back up. And then you have some choices here with the map. If I click the arrow, I can get a turn-by-turn list. If I click the arrow again, I can get a compass. If I click the arrow again, I'm back to map. And you do have a zoom in and zoom out right here. I mean, so that's a really nice split screen. Okay, now in addition to that, if I close it using that button and I reopen it, Okay, if I go down to media, these buttons here affect what shows up in the split screen. So here I've got media. Here I've got some trip information, and I can go back. I can see history. I can see trip information. I can see some more trip information. And then I'm back to history. Okay, so if I go down here, then I get climate control. So it's really nice. And with a 12.3-inch screen, this is still a nice size screen. Okay, and then I can control the climate from there. Okay, in the media screen, if I use the drop-down arrow, this is where my sources are. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. So what I want to show you is that you can also cancel with voice command. So if you don't want to reach over and have to find that X, which I think is really nice that they put it on the screen, but it is a couple clicks. So let's try voice command to cancel.
Before you start, consider view.
Cancel navigation.
Route canceled.
And there you go. So when you're driving, that voice command button is a really nice feature, so you don't have to look at the screen. Okay, so let's go back to this menu button that's down at on the trackpad, and let's go to audio. So in audio, the questions always are, well, how do you change sources? You know, how do you tune, and how do you set a favorite? And then how do you adjust your sound? So you want to look at presets. Well, they're right there. And you're going to notice that the presets are a combination of FM, AM, and Sirius XM. And so most modern infotainment systems your favorites are all your favorites, which I really like, because if you're in Sirius XM and for some reason you want to go somewhere else, you know, you can just click and then it takes you to that source. Now, if you want to look at your different sources just as a list, you can see those right here. If your phone was not hooked up via Bluetooth, that would be grayed out. All right. Now, if I can go here to a station list, all right, so it's searching, it's creating an AM station list, and it'll do this for FM, it'll do this for Sirius XM, same process here. So this is Sirius XM. You can see you got genres here for FM and for AM. So to do the sound, you just click down here. And then you got treble, mid-bass, fader balance, automatic sound leveler, which just basically means the faster your car is going or the noisier the sound is on the inside of the car, the volume automatically raises. And when you're going slower and there's less sound in the car, it lowers. It balances it out in your ear. You can adjust the surround sound to 3D, 2D, or off. All right. We're going to go back up here, take a look at fader and balance. All right, this is not a click drag, but you can use the front, rear, left, or right buttons to adjust it. Now, interesting enough, to get out of this screen, you need to come down to the trackpad in the center console and hit the back button. I wish they would put a back button in the screen. But that's how you're going to control those things. All right, so to tune, you come down here, you've got a seek and track button that's at the bottom of the climate controls. And so you can use that, and it will automatically go to the next track. Okay? Right there. You can also use the power volume knob. There's a lower piece that kind of fits over the volume knob, and that will also tune directly. Okay, so let's go back to radio here. All right, so that's audio. So let's take a look at phone. So under phone here, you're going to have, of course, your history, your favorites, contacts. I didn't allow my contacts or favorites to sync because it's not my car, but yours would show up there. You can dial right there. You can select which device you're going to use if you had additional devices connected. And then if your phone doesn't automatically set up messaging, you can click here to set that up. Okay. Let's hit the menu button down on the trackpad. We'll take a look at apps for a minute. So here you got notifications from Lexus. You got your Wi-Fi set up right there. If we click on that, it'll take you to that. Okay, I'm just going to click the back button. And we'll go back again here. Under infotainment, it'll pop up any apps it has that will work with the Inform app suite, and that's a app you can download from the store. If I press menu button again, let's go over to projection. So this is your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So I need to plug in with a USB cable because it's not wireless. So I am going to hook my cable in and set up Apple CarPlay. All right, so to access the USB input that would be for your phone, it is USB-A only. So I need to get a different cable. All right, so I'm just going to hook into the top one here, plug it into my phone, and we should see Apple CarPlay pop up or be available. Yep. So I'm going to say enable. So this is Apple CarPlay. And it looks so nice on this 12.3 inch screen. It looks really big. So basically, these are your most recently used things, except for the phone that always stays there. These are any apps from your phone that work with the car. And instead of having to click on your phone screen, you just click up here and it works, just like it does on your phone. The Lexus button is to take us back to the Lexus operating system. So now I'm going to hit menu again to get back. And if I go down here, this is where it said projection. Now it says Apple CarPlay. Okay, you're going to also notice if I go back to menu and click on phone, it's not going to take me to the phone screen anymore. It's going to take me to the phone in Apple CarPlay. Once you choose Apple CarPlay, the Bluetooth phone part goes away and it brings you to this instead. Now, I'm going to click these dots right here, and it's going to bring me back to that screen. Now, there is one more dot on the left, but I can also press this button to do the same thing, and it gives me a split screen view. So now I've got Google Maps running up here. I've got Google Maps commands up here. This would be Siri for my iPhone. This would be a Go command, and then you get your media. But it is, if you've never used Apple CarPlay before, I'd really encourage you to sit down and just spend a little time in your driveway playing with it, because it's way nicer than Bluetooth, way, way nicer. You're going to notice, for instance, I mean, this has built-in navigation, and we showed you that. But for instance, I've got Apple Maps, I have got Google Maps, and I've got Waze. And almost any navigation app you have will work with the car. I've also got things like, I have a Sears XM app on my phone that I could use instead of the vehicles. I have got Pandora, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and so on. So it is just really, really a nice system at Apple CarPlay. All right, we're going to press the Lexus button to get back. And I'm going to press the menu button down by the trackpad, and we're going to keep going. On the info button here, you get a bunch of different things here. So, for instance, this is eco information, and you can press clear, or you can go to history. You can look at traffic incidents on the current road, events nearby, predictive traffic map, or my traffic routes. You can get weather. And then you can get all these options for weather here. You can get like a weather map, which is really cool. And then shows you where you are. So that could be a very nice feature for driving. Now, here's the back button here. See, now they put it in the screen on that one. All right, so let's go back to weather. All right, vehicle alert history you can look on. And you can look at an e-owner's manual if you want. Although I think it's just as easy to watch our video. And then you get a table of contents for that. So I'm going to hit the menu button, and I'm going to go down to setup. So here we've got several things for us. So under general, you've got clock, language. You can look at the display, all this kind of stuff. You've got several more that are under here, right here. If I go down. So we'll go through a few of these, but they all operate pretty much the same way. So, for instance, if I want to look on display, I can adjust the contrast and brightness in general. And again, it's not a click drag, and I wish it was. You got to use the plus or minus buttons. Okay, and you can see it on different screens, like what's my media going to look like, what's my, so it's just nice. That's for your camera. All right, so I'm going to hit back here. You can also look just for the camera, and that takes you to the same screen that we just saw. Let's go back from display here. You've got projection settings, which is your Apple CarPlay stuff or Android Auto. Okay, like right now, Android Auto is turned off. So you can, if you only have Android Auto, you can leave that on and turn Apple CarPlay stuff off. All right, theme setting. You got two different themes, as we saw in the driver's information screen. Let me go back here. I thought that would go, yeah. So you can have it kind of a blue theme or kind of a, or more of a darker colored theme. All right. So I'll show you a couple more here, but under units of temperature, you can change between Celsius and Fahrenheit right there. You can change between units of measure right here. So the selection sound, that's just all this beeping from the infotainment screen that you're hearing. You can turn that off. You can turn the pointer sound off. And now you notice when I click on things, it doesn't beep on us anymore. Right? I'm going to use the back arrow here. Hit the menu button, go back to setup. And we're going to go down a little bit here. We're going to go down one more screen here. Multi-touch command, you can have that on or off. You can change the cursor speed for the trackpad. Delete the delete the keyboard history. Memorize the keyboard history, and if you do that, then it just brings things up quicker when you type them in, especially if it's similar things. You can look at software update right here. You can check for an update over the air, which is really nice. And then we'll go back here. Yep, and that's the bottom of the screen. Now, one thing I will point out, if you ever have this car and you're selling it used, you're going to want to go to delete search history and delete personal data and get rid of all that stuff so it's not stored in the vehicle. All right, let's take a look at audio. Of course, we'll take a look at radio here. You can manage the number of smart favorites right here. You can have up to 20 of them, and there's no back button, so you got to go down to the trackpad and click that. Or you can look at the favorite FM genres right here, and then you can choose 6 that you want. Okay, or press default so that it goes back to the default. All right, hit the back button on the trackpad again. If I go down to voice, you can adjust the voice volume. That's for voice command. You can do the automatic navigation guidance on or off, and that's just a simple click. This one is just a volume control. You can just use a plus or minus. And it gives you a little beep to try and help indicate how loud that's going to be. Voice guidance in all modes, and you'd probably want to leave that on, but basically if you turn it off, if you're not in navigation and you got a route plotted and say you're listening to media, it's not going to give you a voice command to make a turn to the next right. It'll show it to you, but it won't tell you, so you probably want to leave that one on. Voice recognition prompts, you're going to have that high, low, or medium. You can actually train voice recognition. Okay, you can go through a tutorial there, and if I go down one, you get voice prompt interrupt. That's a nice feature to have on, because as you get used to the car, you get used to the voice command prompts, and that means you can interrupt the voice command and it will take your command. If that is turned off, it's going to finish its entire sentence or a couple of sentences before it allows you to talk. So I would leave that on. And then of course you can reset to default. Under vehicle, okay, we saw this in the driver's information screen a little bit here, but you got maintenance. So really nice that you can set all of these up, and the way they work, let's just say we click on engine oil. You can set the date you want it changed by clicking on it. You can set the distance, okay, and then it will keep track of it. And then it will warn you. But you've got all of these that you can program, which I think is just nice. And they leave 3 personal areas for you for something that they didn't think of that's on there. And then you can turn the reminders off or on, but there really is no point in setting that unless you get a reminder, I think. But that's up to you. Okay, vehicle customization. Here's where you can make some of the basic things, like for your door locks. Okay, do you want to lock when you shift from park? Or do you want to unlock when you shift to park? And all you got to do is click on these, and then you get the options. Remote 2 press to unlock, so the first one does a driver's door, the second one, if you do it quickly, unlocks all doors, and so on. That can be on or off. We've got a few more things here. The auto relock timer, you can set the time, but basically what it does is if you get out of the car and you don't lock it, after that many seconds, it will lock the car automatically. All right. So you've got these same kind of settings. You can do the climate settings. You can set the auto seat temperature. That's front left, that's front right. And then you can say the sensitivity, okay, how much this can heat. You can say auto heated steering wheel time, so it'll heat up but then it'll turn off. Smog sensor sensitivity, AC, the auto AC mode, on or off. I would leave that on, but let's see, light settings. So headlights auto on sensitivity. This is a nice feature. So this has auto headlights, and they're designed to come on with a sensor. As soon as it senses it's a certain darkness, then the headlights come on automatically. Now, sometimes I notice on my vehicle, which is much older one than this, but it has the sensitivity can't be set, and sometimes, like in a storm when you should have your lights on, it's not dark enough, and so then I got to manually turn them on. But this is where you can adjust that. All right, headlights auto off timer. You can program that from basically 0 seconds to 90 seconds. So you got a little light left when you stop and get out of the car and make your way to the door. You need the lights to see where the lock is. All right. We'll look at other vehicle settings. We have a driver's easy exit slide, and you can set that from full to partial to off. And basically that means when you turn off the car and open the door, it's going to slide your seat back for you. All right. So this one, driver's seat easy exit lift, it's actually going to lift the seat up a little bit higher to make it easier for you to step down. So it's not quite such you're not so close to the ground, because this is a sedan and it sits a little lower to the ground. It's not like an SUV. And you can have the steering column set to tilt only, telescope only, or tilt and telescope. If it's tilt and telescope, what it's going to do, it's going to take that steering wheel and put it all the way up and all the way in. Okay, but then when you step in, by your key fob or your program buttons on the left, it'll reset all that once you turn in and start the car. So it'll be right back to where you had it set. All right, and that's the bottom of that list. So we're gonna go back from setup here. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the home or the menu button on the trackpad, and then we have climate. So under climate here, you can adjust the front, and this is not a slide. And again, I really wish they would make that a slide, but you can use the arrows. You can set the fan speed. You can set it to whether it's auto. You can set where the air is blowing. Okay. And then the arrow disappears when you're out of options. And if I go all the way back, it doesn't go back to auto, so you have to actually turn auto back on again. Okay, you also got some selections down here, and this is the only place that you can turn the dual mode on or off, meaning if your passenger has set their temperature different to yours, the only way to sync the temperatures back again is by going into that climate screen and then hitting that. All right, you got seat and steering right here. So you've got your heated seats. You got 3-stage heated seats on both front driver and passenger. There are no heated seats in the rear. You do have a heated steering wheel. And then, of course, your ventilated seats right here. You can adjust those as well. All right, so that's the climate settings. I'm going to hit the menu button again. And we are back to the main screen here. And so that is it for the infotainment screen on the 2021 Lexus LS 500F Sport all-wheel drive. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.